this. And I want to just welcome everybody to our assistant manager opportunity meeting. This is really one of my favorite meetings that I have an opportunity to run. I have the pleasure as a division manager of working with our branch and district managers, but our assistant manager team is always my favorite group to be able to have an opportunity to work with because realistically, when I think about certain people, this is the future of the division, the future leaders that will be taking precedent up and down the coast and across the division. So as we get things kick-started today, I want to give a couple friendly reminders. And first thing would just be some Zoom etiquette. So if you haven't done so already, make sure that you have changed your screen name. Also, a couple of different things. Do not want anyone, cameras need to be on, and do not want anyone driving on this call. So if you're driving, I'm going to need you to hop off here on this call here for today. And as we get things kicked off, want to make sure everyone, again, is 100% engaged as we kick things off. So when we talk about leaders that are 100% engaged, I think it really just means doing the things that leaders that are 100% engaged do, which is a couple different things. Number one, seeking best practices. And as we get started today, I think I challenge yourself to, if you're on this call, it's because you have been someone that has had a conversation with your respective district manager, and they have seen you as someone that could potentially be a candidate for an assistant manager role or for a leadership role or an AMI role in the summer of 2021 and beyond. So, really when I think about thinking best practices, are you looking for the best way to do things or the easiest way? Are you looking for the best way to do a practice, or are you looking for the most comfortable way? Are you hungry for growth? So you can usually tell who's hungry for growth based off of how you have your computer screen set up, and where you have a section to have the Zoom up, do you have a section to have your notes up, or if you're taking paper and pen, just how aggressive are you with your notes today? And last thing is, can you create personal clarity? Today is about really opening up opportunities, gaining personal clarity, and getting yourself a little bit of insight on what your track record could look like here in the next couple months, next summer, and over the next couple of years. So I want to get things started and welcome you all to our assistant manager opportunity meeting. There's some of you all on this call that I have not had the pleasure of meeting before. So just to introduce myself, my name is Andrew Evans. I'm the division manager for the Florida Coast Heat Division. And a little bit of background on my story. I started selling Cutco in 2013. So this is my first real sales position. I had never really done anything like this in the past. Previously, I'd done all sorts of different kind of odd jobs before I started working with Cutco, but this is my first real professional position. I really enjoyed the job my first summer just because it was really flexible. I made good money, for my age. And never really, saw myself continuing, honestly, more beyond it just being kind of a cool part-time job that first summer. And, luckily I was in a situation based on my summer sales performance where I was accepted into the Leadership Academy at the end of that summer. And over the next year, I ended up becoming an assistant manager in Fort Lauderdale. So I'm originally from Jupiter, Florida, Palm Beach. Any of you all know where that is. And I ended up being assistant manager in Fort Lauderdale, ended up becoming a branch manager the following summer in Boca Raton, which is kind of our coveted position that we have in our company. I'll talk about a little bit later. And then I worked with Cutco all throughout college. And, when I graduated, really had a couple different opportunities in front of me. And one of the reasons I decided to end up choosing a career path with Cutco and deciding to go down the route of becoming a district manager is I really, now I do a lot of different things, but I really just have a strong appreciation for the leadership opportunity that I was able to gain, the skill set, the mentorship, and really the way that Cutco and Vector helped shape me in my young years and some of my most formidable years. And I'm really, really grateful and appreciative of that opportunity. I love being able to give back that same opportunity to other young people, which, by the way, goes right back to why I said I get really excited when I get a chance to run these calls. Because I remember when I hopped on my first assistant manager call, and after I was a sales rep, like my first real job, stepping into leadership roles as an assistant manager. So I've got a lot of passion for assistant manager role each and every single year. So in 2019, at the end of 2019, or really the beginning of last year, I had the opportunity to get promoted to the position of division manager for the Florida Coast Division. And I was tasked with taking what at the time was one of the worst divisions in the company and helping it grow into, one of the strongest and fastest growing divisions in the company. And, that's really exactly what we've done this past year. So, I want to welcome you as part of our division, no matter whether you're a rep, You've been around for the past year or so, going through our TLA and leadership training program. We have a really exciting and growing division, and we are excited to have you here as part of it. Last year was really just getting us a chance to see and connect the vision and what's possible. And then this year is all about growing, starting to compete nationally, not just compete, but really dominate the competition as we enter into 2021. We're going to be going from the small 3-office division to over 24 offices in the summer of 2021. So we're growing fast, but built to last. And we're excited to have you guys here if you're on this meeting right now, and if you're serving in any role as part of our division. So one of the biggest things that we oftentimes talk about, and one of my biggest goals as division manager, is to create 5-star college graduates. So when I think about a 5-star recruit, I think about somebody that is highly sought after. Any of you all play sports, high school, college? Cool. When you think about like a 3 or 4-star recruit, that's an individual that is probably pretty dang good at their sport. They have a lot of track record of success, and that person, an individual, probably has a strong shot at getting looked at for maybe some scholarships or going to get, and play ball or whatever their sport is at their school. They'll go out to events and cross their fingers and hope they get scouted. But if you're a 5-star recruit, what happens?
They already know who you are.
Yeah, they already know who you are. You're not like competing to get an offer. The coaches are competing to get you. It is a much different dynamic, and there's only so many people that can actually be 5-star recruits. Well, I got to tell you guys, that exact same thing happens in our college environments, and in a world where, 1 and 2-star recruits are the people that are currently unemployed and don't have jobs. And 3 or 4-star recruits, will go out and interview the Great American Job Search, and they'll compete and try and, get some positions and jobs at great companies. And, 5-star recruits can really do whatever they want. They go out and don't get interviewed. They go out and interview the companies that they want to work for, and that is based off the resume, the confidence that they bring to the interviews, having a real track record of success, real formidable skills that they've developed, and also probably a lot of money in the bank account in their banks so that they aren't in a desperate position for anything, because they don't really even need to find a job, in an immediate future because they're good. And that's really our goal with this division. So 2020 for us was a year of 2020 vision, which was ironic because, that was a year where most people did not have so much vision for themselves. But 2020 was perfect vision. That was a chance for us to really connect with, really to what the future could possibly be for us. And then this is the year where we compete. This is the year where we dominate. This is the year where we set up a Silver Cup sweep. And it's not really about competing. It's not really about winning. But I'll tell you what, we are trying to build the hotbed of talent inside of this division. And we have the opportunity to really take home not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but almost every Silver Cup in every category, in my opinion. And I think it says something strong about what it means to be a part of a championship culture, championship team. And, there's still a lot of building. When the Patriots won their first Super Bowl, they didn't become, the best team in the NFL, or Tom Brady didn't become the all-time GOAT because they won 1 Super Bowl. But that was the beginning of a legacy that carried forward for many, many other years. And this is going to be that first year. This is our year. We talked about the year before the big year, and this is the big year. So, coming out strong, we want to dominate this year. Next year, we have the opportunity to scale our program, scale our systems to the rest of the company. In 2023, we want to be the hotbed for talent and for recruiting inside of Vector Marketing. And 2024, we'll get to that later, but talking about being in the right place at the right time. So if you are part of this division, there's 4 pillars and 4 tenets that we really kind of build everything around. And that's what it means to be a part of the Florida Coast Heat. It means having a high performance mindset, thinking big. If you're on this call right now, it's probably because you've exhibited some of these attributes, in your career or your track record with us. Having a high performance mindset, in other divisions, selling a homemaker is like a big deal. Selling $1,000 for the week is like a big deal. During the summertime, it's like, cool, you sold $2,000. You might even be one of the top, reps in your office for that week. But I want to let you know in this division, it's a little bit different. There's a high performance mindset. That's why you'll see people, whenever you sell like a homemaker or hire, there's a hashtag DDJ, stands for doing the job, because that's really just the expectations of the job. The expectations is we're supposed to sell homemakers. We're supposed to sell complete sets. We're supposed to sell signature sets. That's literally like the job. Tom Brady doesn't, again, I'm just going to go back to the football examples, but Tom Brady, like they don't celebrate, and start cheering on the sidelines because they scored a touchdown. Like Tom Brady, they're supposed to score touchdowns. That's their job. That's what he gets paid, millions and millions of dollars to do. That's what he's supposed to show up as. So having a high performance mindset, energetic leadership, because everything in leadership, influence, and sales is all energy. Actually, everything in the whole world is all energy. But especially in relational dynamics, this is why we talk about it's a skill set, the ability to influence a customer or client, the ability to, as an assistant manager, influence your reps and the people working on your team. All of it is the same, and it's all about energetic leadership. Ace Weekly, because it's not enough to do something one time. It's about the consistency. It's not enough for us to just have a good year this year. It's about what we're building and the legacy that we're creating and true professionalism. And I just want to encourage you guys as you show up to these calls that you'll know, and you'll hear today, about our assistant manager opportunity where, most of our assistant managers in our division, quite frankly, they're going to make 10 grand on the low end. For the vast majority of assistant managers, across the division, some of them, some of our top assistant managers are making $25,000 to $30,000 during the summertime. There's very few other jobs and places. I mean, we're really talking about like professional levels of income at a very, very young age, but you don't just get that by showing up. You have to show up like a professional, if you want to get the perks and the experiences that you can win as a professional. So just showing up as a true professional in everything that you do. So throughout the day, what I'd like to do is in the Gunner group chat, everyone should be added to the Gunner group chat, I assume, by the way. Is anyone not in that chat? If you're not in that chat, have your manager go ahead and add you. But I'd like you guys to post up some light bulbs as we continue through today on any light bulbs or takeaways that you guys have as we're going through some of this stuff. And, if you have that aha moment or light bulbs, post it into that chat, and that will help me get some feedback on what you guys have taken away from these messages here as well. So I'm curious to know, even before we start, we won't have one or two people share. What's a light bulb for you or a takeaway as we're getting started here today? Maybe it's just a reminder. Yeah, I can call on Tyler, but let me call on someone that's actually an assistant manager candidate. Yeah, Jada.
So I wrote down like have personal clarity is like one of the first things you had, because I feel like you need to like know what you're going for and like what your goals are for yourself, especially in any meeting you go into. So
yes, ma'am. Cool. And hopefully you'll gain some personal clarity from today's meeting. Gabriel?
I mean, kind of referencing what Jada just said, like for you to have success, you need to have that personal clarity. And like you said today, our goal is to create a hotbed of talent. So we have to have the clarity and the vision to do that. So that's why we're here today.
Yes, sir. And, I want to take some time to really kind of just educate you guys. And the purpose of this meeting today is really to educate you on the opportunities that we have available. And then also tell you what the track record, what the plan is, and what it's going to take to get there. So I want to educate you not only on the assistant manager opportunity, but really on a little bit of the opportunities that we have inside of Cutco. And so if you're just hopping onto this call, some of you all are literally already in TLA. I'm looking at certain people that are on the call, Eric, Madison, people that have gone through TLA for the past, couple months. And now it's the time to really earn and lock in that full-time position as a assistant manager. And others, you guys are not in TLA, or you just got started recently as a sales rep here. But the Leadership Academy is really our coveted, group inside of Cutco. And if you are looking to create the best version of yourself, Leadership Academy is our version of corporate management and leadership growth training. And if you go to Nike, if you go to Google, if you were going to go to any other company, okay, they all have their version of a Leadership Academy. That doesn't necessarily make it special, but what makes us special is that we're the #1 college recruiting company in North America, is that we work with more college students than any other organization in North America. And that's really what we specialize in. So TLA, what we really do is, and do this, and by the way, in a time where, you can already see it all over the place, companies, organizations, employers, we're moving into a new era and a new society where people are starting to value skills a little bit more over just college degrees. Because I think we also all know someone that graduated with a college degree and has no skills in that area. And there's also people with lots of skills and experience without a college degree. And companies are starting to become more aware of that. And that's really what we give our people is skills in the area of time, management, skills in the area of money management, how to make more money, but also how to save it, how to invest it, right? How to give it away the right way, how to manage energy, which again, I think is the most important thing, how to manage other people, and most importantly, how to manage yourself. And that's really what we teach in TLA. So for those of you guys that are in TLA, this is really kind of the next step in the process. And for everybody else, if you want to advance anywhere in our company, for the most part, first step is usually getting into our Leadership Academy. And I want to walk you all through a little bit of the steps of the Vector Opportunity. If you've ever been to raise your hand if you've been to an SLDM before, Sales Leadership and Development meeting. Cool. You're going to recognize a little bit of this stuff. And this is going to just walk you through a little bit of just kind of what the steps of the Vector Opportunity are. And some of you all, this call is really, really exciting because I ran this call for you at SLDM when you were a 1K sales rep. And now it's the next step, in that opportunity. But, and I'll go ahead and send a document into the chat afterwards. Here's the deal. The first step is being here. Okay. There's lots and lots of reps that have started this job over the past couple months. There's lots and lots of people that are on your teams right now, and there's, hundreds of reps across our division. There's only, about 18 people that are on this call right now. So you should feel good if you were invited by your, manager to be here in the first place. And that's really, really the first step is being here at this meeting, being recognized. And this is my chance, not only number one, by the way, to educate you all on future opportunities, but it's also my chance to get to get connected and see who all of our future leadership candidates really are inside the division. And one thing that can be told to you is that your district managers are the ones that work close to our assistant managers. But, I get weekly calls with all of our summer assistant managers, every single summer. I'm looking at Jessica Shannon, who's on this call, who was an assistant manager, last summer. And the reason, by the way, that I do that is because these are our future branch and district managers. Our assistant manager team during the summertime is and should be the number one branch candidates for the following summertime. And really the first step is like, there's always, great athletes out there, people that could have been great scientists, great musicians, but they don't necessarily get found, And so the first step is being here. You're at the recruiting meeting, which is a good sign. Second step, if you're not there yet, is to get the dirty 30. In my opinion, nothing really matters until you get the dirty 30. Selling your first 10 grand is really just about, learning the basics of the job, learning the basics of influence, basics of how to build rapport with people, the basics of how to close a sale or drop down. Really that you're just learning your fundamentals. So the first thing is you got to get your fundamentals down as a sales rep. You can't be a leader on the team until you're actually good at what the team does, right? You can't be the captain of the basketball team until you're actually, first know how to play basketball. And selling your first 10 grand is really just about doing just that. And once you get to dirty 30, it's really exciting. I think that's when the fun income aspect of the job really starts to settle in. And, during the summertime, if you're starting the fall and spring, things are a little bit lower standards, if you will, just because people are busy and in school and, doing 10 demos on a week-to-week basis can be a lot to do around your school and classes. Doing 10 demos during the week, during the summertime is like every single rep on the team is doing that. So realistically, I'd say $1,000 is pretty much the minimum that most people will sell on a weekly basis in the summertime. Most people in the neighborhood of $2,000 to $3,000 are kind of our standard benchmarks of weekly summer performance too. But you can see if you're doing that on a week-to-week basis, the paychecks get pretty exciting. And some of you all on this call have earned many common paychecks, and some of you all have yet to earn your first one, but those should be coming for you, hopefully, if you're on this call in the future. The next step in advancement is getting onto our key staff program, which we mostly just run. Your office may have a key staff right now, it may not, but we mostly just run that during the summertime. And so our key staff is really the first step towards advancing. It's early indicators for people that could be TLA candidates for the summertime. You get priority in coaching and extra coaching. You're getting on the radar, and there's usually extra meetings and extra coaching or additional learning that you can learn from and as a key staff member. People that are on our key staff are always team builders. And that's something that I'll tell you guys right now that I really look for is someone that is a team builder, someone that not only, helps recommend people to the job, like a lot of you probably did in training where you can recommend people on an app, and that's great. Okay. But being a team builder is being someone that, is actually going out of their way to help build the team. And the number one thing, outside of sales performance that I look for in an assistant manager candidate is their ability to be a team builder. It's also something that, by the way, when you can put this on your resume and companies are scouting you out in the future and you have a track record of being a team builder, you become much more valuable to any company or organization that you set foot inside of. I think about my colleague, Jeff Gamboa, who runs the Florida Caribbean division. His wife, Heidi Gamboa, is a high-powered gastrointestinal doctor at Miami Children's. And, when they were bringing Heidi down from Delaware, they were already bringing down. She's a very great doctor, so that was already an asset to them. But Heidi is more of an asset when they also know that she's a team builder, and they know that, hey, if we get Heidi Gamboa, we're going to be able to get all these other collection of doctors from the Northeast that are other high-powered leaders and doctors are going to bring more clients down to us and raise the value of our hospital and organization. You become more valuable to your team when you're worth not just the one individual, but we know we're going to get these other players. If we get this key player, everyone else is going to want to be on this team, and that's what it means to be a team builder. So that's something that I really, really look for, and something that I think you should always be looking for. And by the way, a lot of that comes down to like your own personal networking that you do outside of Cutco, which really, if you might have heard the saying, your network is your net worth, it is certainly true, So, and we teach our assistant managers and leaders really how to do different things. If you were at our boot camp, you probably heard to talk from me on a little bit of some social media goods and how to build and develop a following on there. The next step is getting promoted to the position of assistant manager intern. So this is like as close as you can get to an assistant manager role without officially being an assistant manager. It's not a ton of extra time or commitment, but it does give you what I call a foot in the door experience. So, maybe you're getting a couple hours extra per week, unpaid. It's an internship. Okay. But you're getting a couple extra hours on your schedule, just kind of learn the ropes. So what do the managers do behind the scenes? What are some of the skill sets? What are some things that I need to learn? It's something that, number one, will also obviously boost your resume, gives you a feel for what the management experience could be like. And you instantly become the first person in line for the next assistant manager role as soon as there's one opens up and is available. It also really shortens that learning curve and that hurdle versus you going from rep to assistant manager. And there's a lot more, okay, cool, I'd love to promote you, Joey, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to train you for like 40 hours and to get you up to speed. And I don't have time to train you right now. So it's going to take another month or two versus, oh, cool. You already kind of know a lot of this stuff for the most part, right? You've been kind of checking it out. All right, let's get you into the role and get you into a full-time position as a paid assistant manager. So just so you know, the assistant manager intern requirements for the spring are you have to be at 3K in sales. You should be pretty consistently hitting the weekly newsletter. And we want to see that you have a positive attitude and you're able to help with some of our team building in our office. So we will be promoting 30 to 50 different assistant manager interns across the division before next summer. And it's a little bit different once everything kind of amplifies a little bit. The standards increase come summertime. So just so you know, if you're not selected for one of these roles in this upcoming spring, there's still going to be an opportunity to get promoted during and throughout the summertime. The standards are a little bit higher for that, 6K, minimum. And then, of course, having a positive attitude, team builder, and being consistent on the weekly newsletter for our summer assistant manager roles. But we'll also have another round of 30 to 50 promotions across the division for assistant manager interns happening at our SE1 event. Hopefully, when you see these numbers, hopefully it gives you some confidence to know that no matter where you are right now on this call, there's some of you all that are like at 30, 40K in career sales. Some of you all like are just started a week or two ago and you're at about, $1 or $2 grand. But regardless, let me see, let's get muted here. Regardless though, hopefully it's giving you some confidence that no matter where you're at, there's an opportunity available for you to be able to earn. Our coveted opportunity that we have in our company is as a branch manager. And, this is really truly the premier Cutco opportunity. If you're going to work in Cutco throughout college, like this is the job. This is the one of the most exciting opportunities that I think people can really have as a college student. And obviously I'm biased. I did it 3 separate times. And I did that for a reason, but I truly believe there's not much else that you can do as an 18 to 24-year-old to impact the 5 to 10 years at a post-college graduation outside of running a branch office with Cutco. This is and I'll go ahead and show you guys a couple of different things, but we call this taking the leap, right? And I'll actually show you guys a photo of this. Is my buddy Luke Maseko, who now runs our Boca Raton Delray office, but this is him when he actually branched in college. And I remember my first summer, I was an assistant manager in Fort Lauderdale, and Luke was just a little rep. in that, well, not a little rep, he was a pretty big rep, but he was a rep in that office that summer. And I ended up going to Boca Raton the next summer as a branch manager for my first summer experience. He was an assistant manager in Fort Lauderdale. Next summer, I moved to Miami, and he became the branch manager of Boca Raton that summer. So it was really cool getting a chance to see him, with have his own office, his own business, with his name, plaque up on the board. And the question I really ask people, and for those of you guys that also too are wondering what a branch manager is, a branch manager is basically an entrepreneurial internship opportunity with the company where someone is going down and running their own office completely by themselves. So they do exactly what a district manager does. They just do it for summer internship. They only do it for the course of the actual summertime too. So there's a large amount of money and income to be made, but the most important thing is the experience that our individuals get and how it prepares them really for anything that they want to do in the future. And the question I always ask people is, what's better? Graduating and then working for, 30, 40, 50 years to make six figures, which is, by the way, is the track record of the typical American. That's the track record of most people is that, you go to school, get good grades, you'll get a job that's solid pay and income. And, every couple of years, you'll probably get, a little boost in income or increase in salary, maybe a promotion to another position. And that's great, or potentially what if you could work for, 2 to 3 years hard, throughout college to help you gain the skills that will allow you to become a whole lot more marketable and make more money in the future. Set yourself for that opportunity coming out of college. And when you start higher, you end higher too. Those, gradual incremental increases, when you start off higher too, those increases are a lot bigger as well. And so this is our branch manager class from last year. Okay. This is actually we're the number 4 branch manager class in Vector. And I say that to you all because I'm getting excited about this upcoming year. We have 10 branch managers that will be going out with us this upcoming summer. And our goal is to be the number 1 branch class in all of Vector marketing. So we're excited to have the opportunity to bring that home. And here's what I'll share with you, okay, and I'm going to skip over the pilot sales manager here for now. I'll recognize him a little bit. But for some of you all, maybe there's an aha moment or something in there that's like, oh, that sounds like an exciting role or an exciting opportunity for me. And my goal is that somewhere and at some point today that I'm creating some sort of light bulb moment for you. And I know you guys have already posted some of your light bulbs into the chat here. But I remember kind of my first light bulb moment. Like I said, I never really saw myself doing this job beyond honestly just the summertime when I first started. I was just kind of doing this part-time, make some extra cash. And that was pretty much it. That was the only goals that I really had with it. And then eventually at one point or another, I had this, I could probably do this for a couple summers throughout college and really set myself up for some long-term opportunities. And I never knew that and saw myself that I'd be continuing with Cutco beyond college, but that was my first kind of my light bulb or aha moment. And, so for some people, and I'll explain kind of Cutco through college here too, there's some people out there that kind of know exactly what they want to do. Like Jonathan's on this call, he knows exactly what he wants to do. He knows he's going to school, medical school, he wants to be a doctor. In fact, it's not just I want to be a doctor. It's hey, I know what school I want to go to for med school. I want to be a cardiothoracic surgeon, exactly what you want. Some of you on this call have literally no idea. You've changed majors 3 times since you got into college, or it's that type of thing. It's well, what do you want to do when you grow up? And every 6 months, the answer changes. And most of you all are in between where you have I got a pretty good idea of what I like, what I enjoy, and maybe a general direction where I like to go, but maybe not everything is all detail oriented yet. So all Cutco through college is just, that is for those that, make the decision that, hey, this is the vehicle that I'm going to use to make the money that I want to make, and develop my skill set, develop my resume, and make myself more marketable to employers, to med schools, to college graduate programs for the future. I'm going to use this as my vehicle throughout college, and I always tell people too, it's way more impressive to have a lot of track record of success and really soar through the ranks and have an impressive resume at one thing than it is to, try 8 different things while you're in college or try something else every single summer while you're in school. And by the way, this is coming from the guy that is known for doing lots of things all at the same time. Okay. But it's always better. And I think it's a better track record. And I'm not saying, by the way, maybe it's Cutco for you. Maybe it's not, maybe it's something else. But I do think there's something to be said when you have a vehicle that you can really use to, make the money that you want to make and develop yourself the way that you want to develop yourself, throughout your college period. So if you ever want to learn out some more information about that, I highly suggest go to changinglivespodcast.com. You can check out the podcast featuring my colleague and good friend and mentor, Jeff Gamboa, on our Cutco Through College program, and have some more insight for that. But for a lot of you all, kind of what a Cutco Through College track could look for is usually it's your first summer is just kind of selling and earning your spot, being recognized, getting into TLA. For most people, a second summer follows up with a branch manager experience where you really get the experience of learning how to run and operate your own business. So maybe I'm a pre-med major. I want to run my own practice, but I'm on a pre-med track. I'm not taking business classes. I'm going to go to medical school. So this gives me a chance of learning the skills of running my own practice before I actually go out and do so. Some number 3, a lot of people will branch one time, go out like a Lindsay Holstrom, this is on the call right now, or a Rob Rodriguez, what he did last summer, and they'll go out and they'll do it again. And the first time you kind of learn how to start a business, build a business. Second time, you're actually learning how to grow it. If you do like a third time, you're learning how to scale it. Some people go into the management route and they say, hey, that's cool. I love being a leader. And I also love leading myself a little bit more. I don't like managing people, and I would rather have some personal sales autonomy. I'd rather go out and make a lot more, just income as a Cutco sales professional. And they'll go into that route and explore some more CSP opportunities. And from there, the goal is that when people graduate, they have options where they could be a district manager or CSP or a 5-star recruit. Now, by the way, for some of you all on this call, okay, you're in a situation where maybe, I don't know, school isn't for you, or you're like, hey, I don't know, this whole virtual thing, whatever, or you're about to graduate, right away. And some people, there's like a Tyler Tarmy on this call, where they sold and earned their spot the next summer, and the following summer, he's going out as a district manager, or, the other opportunities as a Cutco sales professional here too. So let me go ahead and pull this up real quickly. So before I continue on, and a lot of you all know that we've been, kind of recognized as from a lot of different awards that we've kind of been accoladed over the past couple of years. I always reference this article from USA Today that just talks about the skills that students really need to get a job, regardless of what industry they're actually going to. It's people skills, human skills. A lot of y'all, if you follow anything, know like the whole AI wave is coming eventually and soon. And here's one thing that robots and AI will never replace is person-to-person human interaction and skills. And that will always be important. Problem-solving ability, oral communication, leadership, written communication. And, that really is like when we think about all the awards we've gotten as a company, it's not because our students make a lot of money, although our students do make a lot of money. It's really because when you guys, I don't know if does anyone here have a LinkedIn? Some of y'all? All right, cool. Eventually, once you actually, and we'll teach you this if you ever go through TLA, is getting a buttoned up LinkedIn profile and, things like that too. But you'll realize as soon as you put vector marketing on your resume that there will be people hitting your inbox pretty much every single week. And the reason is because they know the skill development that our students get during their time period while they're here with us and how that sets them up for beyond whatever they want to do, in the actual future. So really, by the way, I want to give you guys some quick keys to success, coming out of this and moving forward here. And I'll also just mention some post-college opportunities. But if you're excited about anything, that we've talked about here so far, I think the first key is to make sure that, again, you're performing and that you're hitting dirty 30. Nothing really matters at all until you hit dirty 30. So that's really the first step. And I do want to make a quick plug for post-college opportunities. By the way, this is not the drop out of college or change your major conversation. I do want to just say though, it's always good to have options. I'd rather you have more options than have less options. It's better to be able to choose what you want than have other people choose for you based on what they actually are, what you're actually eligible for too. So 2 college, kind of post-college graduate opportunities that we have inside of our division. Number 1 would be as a Cutco sales professional. So this is one of the things, we just had our CSP awards night on Tuesday night. And this is a really, really exciting role. It's really for people that love working with Cutco products, that love working with sales and customers. And the things that I would write down for this one specifically is I would write down flexibility. I'd write down high income. And I write down independence or personal autonomy. So our CSPs, a lot of you all sell Cutco, in a residential manner virtually to like soccer moms Some of our CSPs just do that at a very, very high level, and other CSPs will get involved in some of our other programs that we have able and offer them. So our career selling opportunities, we have people that sell at fairs and shows, and they'll do the Miami Boat Show or Epcot. We sold almost $1 million in 2019 at Epcot alone, and those CSPs are making 50% of whatever they sell, by the way. So working at the booth for a month, and you can do the quick math on that one too. A lot of people, like my mom, they are a part of our realtor program. So they work with mortgage loaner, mortgage brokers, loan officers, lenders, and people that do basically anything that involves gift giving, which is most businesses and organizations, and they'll create custom branded logo products for their clientele base with Cutco. We also have people that do our service call program or our business gifting program. So we have a whole kind of new world of programs once you get into the CSP world, which you have to be at 150K in career sales before you can be considered for that role. And then our coveted spot as a district manager. This is our really premier career position in the company. And actually, before I go to district CSP, I think I already told you this, but the things I write down is flexibility, high income, and independence. Income, our average CSPs are making about 6 figures a year. Some of them, top performers are making, that plus. But what really is the difference is there's a lot of flexibility. Like some of our CSPs, like Nicole Reed and Ray Reed, they're both a married couple CSPs. They probably didn't work. They probably worked like, I don't know. They were taking like months off at a time last year. So if you like to travel, if you have like a side hustle or passion of like something that like is not really guaranteed, like being a musician or an artist or an entertainer or like literally anything like that, it's gonna be a really cool and exciting gig to be able to do while you're building yourself up another career, or you just like to be able to have, just some flexibility and personal autonomy while you do it. Our position as district manager, this is our career position. And we have kind of a couple different people that become district managers. Some people, it's really a career position opportunity. I think about it, Mike Bromwitz, who, has been with Cutco longer than I have, and is really using this as his vehicle and to fill a lot of what he feels like is his purpose and impact in the world that he wants to have. Some people, this is like the Vector MBA, right? So, for someone like an Alex Arias, who eventually wants to go into the world of entertainment and screenwriting. But, she figured maybe doing this for a couple of years after graduating from NYU, get her like Vector MBA, stock up a couple $100,000 in savings and really develop her resume and her network in the process here while she continues to work on her writing. Our district manager team is really, really exciting and great. And at this, by the way, most of you all, this is like a post-college type opportunity. If you happen to be in a situation where maybe, you're about to graduate already, or maybe school is not for you, this can maybe see something that's a little bit sooner on the actual horizon. But two things that I'd write down for district manager is I just write down high income and mentorship / coaching, high income and mentorship / coaching. So, most of our district managers, after their second or third year in their job, they're making, over 6 figures. Some of them are making, we had district managers in our division make over $200,000 plus, last year, and some of the top performers across the company are making more. But really, the reason that most people become a district manager is because they like to teach, like to coach, like to help other people. It's kind of like, I just describe it as being like a really high paid teacher. Because you're working with young people, you're working with students, if you have an opportunity to impact them in a time that matters the most, you just get a little bit more financially rewarded for doing so. And there's cool things like Rolexes and BMWs and all sorts of stuff that, is available to you for our district manager team. So that's a little bit, by the way, and I share this with you all because I want to give you guys some vision for what the, potential future could be like for you. Most of you all are going to be situations. Some of you all on this call are like, no way I would ever do that. Too cool for school. Some of you all are in a situation where like, actually, Andrew, I want to talk about some of those opportunities soon because I don't really know if school's for me. And most of you all on this call, this is something maybe to think about a couple years down the road, but it's really the most main thing is like, you probably already have something you're excited about. It's about creating options for yourself. Again, I think it's always better to have more options than less. So last thing I can talk about, okay, is our assistant manager position, which is what everyone came on here today to talk a little bit more about. So as an assistant manager, like I said, this is really one of the most exciting positions that I think we have inside of our company. And it's really gives you a taste. Like here's the deal. As an assistant manager, almost every CSP in our company has been an assistant manager. Every branch manager in the company has been assistant, or a lot of them have been assistant managers. Most district managers, I mean, you see any other advancement part, most of them start as an AM role. And it also too, if one of those two sounds exciting to you, it gives you a chance to taste a little bit of both of them. But being an assistant manager, in my opinions, is I can't think of something that shaped the trajectory of my life more so in a positive way than my first summer as an assistant manager with Cutco. And I learned a lot as a branch. I learned a lot with my district manager career. But that summer that I had in Fort Lauderdale really, truly changed the trajectory, I think, of my entire life. And, assistant manager teams like this, being an assistant manager is fun. Being a branch manager is fun too, but it's not the same. You're really running your own organization, which is cool. But as assistant manager, you're with a squad of other people. You're going out there with a group, the camaraderie that gets built during the summertime, the memories, the excitement, the fun. It's a lot of fun to be had. And I already mentioned kind of too the income perks. Most of our assistant managers, and I'll just tell you guys this across the division. If you're an assistant manager, my expectation is that you're making at least 10 grand for the summertime. That's my expectations. You're making at least 5 figures during the summertime as an assistant manager. And in my personal opinion, if you don't make 10 grand, it's because someone didn't hold up their end of the bargain. And I promise it won't be me or your district manager, so that's kind of, I can't sit here and guarantee that to you, but I really truly believe if you didn't make 10 grand as assistant manager, you seriously messed something up. And some of our assistant managers are making like 15, top performers are making 20. Jonathan, I don't know if you're on the phone right now.
No.
How much do you make as an assistant manager than pilot?
Like my, I don't know, 40, 45, something like that for the year. In just the summer was
No,
20.
just the summer.
Oh, 25 to 30 grand, but
cool.
The year was good too.
And Jonathan was one of the top performers in the division. So that's like probably the very, very top of what people are making inside of the division too. So sold a lot personally that summer, which helps contribute to that a little bit. But outside of the income, guys, don't become an assistant manager. Don't get excited about an assistant manager position for the income. And I really would recommend steering people away from that if that's all you're excited about. If you're excited about, really the opportunity to develop yourself and learn a lot, the opportunity to the income's cool and exciting, but the most exciting thing is the people that our students become through the process, and through that leadership development and experience too. The way that your resume gets developed, the way that you get developed personally, I think is the most exciting part. And it does, I tell people right now, the number one perk of being assistant manager is the way that it sets you up for a branch manager experience the following summertime. The reason I get weekly calls with our assistant manager team is not because they need my support. It's because I want to be talking to who I think is the future of the division. And really, ideally, my goal is with that assistant manager team in the summertime. If someone's an assistant manager, they should be the number one candidates getting into TLA at the end of that summer. They should be the most highly sought out candidates in the division and the top branch managers for the following summertime, coming out of that summertime. As an assistant manager, every kind of AM role is a little bit different, but you will be helping out, with a variety of things, but really helping out with leading the sales for your team, coaching some of your top performers, leading by example and selling personally, being able to take people on field trainings, being able to influence and coach and sit down with new reps, recruiting dynamics. Sometimes some assistant managers will be running interviews, running post interviews, helping get people scheduled for interviews, doing social media recruiting, anything that can help, support the building of the organization, the building of the team. And the last thing is assistant managers are the culture leaders. They're really the people. I tell people all the time, representatives don't do what the district manager says. They do what the assistant managers does. They do what the leaders on the team are doing is what they do, not what the, owner of the team tells people they should be doing. They're really the people that lead by examples. And anytime that I see a district office performing at a very, very high level, you can usually point back to the assistant manager team, as the reason that they had that success that summer. When I think about, as a branch manager, the year that we broke the all-time national sales record for branch offices, I can, honestly just point back to the team that I had as assistant managers that summer. and they were the ones that helped create that. They created that culture. They created that environment. They brought in those people that helped us kick ass that summer. It's really a result of our assistant manager team going into that actual summertime too. So AMs are probably the most integral people inside of the organization of a district office. And for me as a division manager, our district offices are the most important organizations in our division. And the AMs are the people that actually are the gears and move the parts inside that organization. So, it really does set you up for a phenomenal branch manager experience in the future if you want to. Here's what I'll tell you guys. We're looking for A players. We're looking for aces, if you will. People that don't play to be good, people that play to be great. I'm looking for people that, and this is actually, I'll just put up the screen. This is kind of what we look for in assistant manager candidates. This is what I look for as a division manager. And this is probably for the most part what your district managers are looking for as well. Number one, sales success. Like I said, look, you can be a really nice guy or gal. You can, be energy in the team. Okay. But, and you might like management more than sales. So sometimes something I hear, well, I don't want to sell anymore. I just want to manage people. I'm like, that's great. And, maybe if you were sold $100,000, you're like, yeah, now I want to just manage people. Great. But if you never had success at doing the activity, you're probably not going to have a lot of success at managing other people to do that same activity. Okay. It's important to have a track record of your own personal sales success. And really just how good can you get the Cutco presentation? Did you get good enough to just barely hit 10K and it was a struggle to get there? Or you actually have a skill set at closing. You have a skill set at building rapport with people. You have a skill set where you can, hop on an appointment, and sure, you could work your way and do 20 presentations to sell a couple grand, but when you line up 10 appointments, are you pretty confident you're going to end up selling 2 or 3 grand out of when you do, 8 to 10 presentations? Do you feel confident where literally if someone hops on a call with you, 80% of the time they're going to buy something? Do you have a strong skill set at the actual position and sales role? Leadership ability, I always look at people who are leaders in the team. And by the way, you're the way that you show up on a Zoom call can just be an example of leadership. Who are the people that are on time? Who are the people that bring energy? Who are the people that respond in the group chats? Who are the people that encourage others? Who are the people that challenge others to think bigger? Who are the people that are leading the culture, leading the environment that group's a part of? Who are the people that are team builders? Who's actually building the team? Who's eager and excited to get their friends in their team? As an assistant manager, a lot of what you're doing is recruiting and supporting the development of the organization and team during the summertime. I just personally don't think if you, it's like saying 3 things. If you have trouble selling Cutco to your friends and family, you're probably gonna have trouble selling it to random strangers. Just the reality. If you have trouble getting people excited about the job, getting your friends, getting one of your friends to get excited about the job, you're probably going to have trouble getting strangers to get excited about the job. So it's hey, are you being a team builder? Are you someone that's building the organization? I'll tell you what, by the way, I've had people that are some of my favorite assistant managers I've had before that honestly weren't that great at the sales capacity. They were good enough, they struggle a little bit, but they were just freaking kick ass team builders. And I was like, nope, we need this person on our team, for the summertime. I'd say one of these 2 things, you got to have a little bit of both, or you got to be really, really strong, at least at one of these 2 things, to be a valuable asset to the organization. Are you a team player? It's not just you as an assistant manager. That'd be great, but you're not a branch manager. There's other people working on the team, the staff. Are you someone that is going to help support and fuel the culture of the team? Or are you the person that they put on the team and now everyone else has problems every single day and your district manager has more work because there's always problems set of staff? Are you someone that's a student of the business, hungry for growth? Are you you hop on calls and take notes, or you just kind of nod your head and you're yeah, I know all this stuff. Right. And then culture rabbits, who are the people that are bringing the culture to the team and helping. When I talk about culture, right, I'm usually talking about this. Who are the people that really model this stuff? Who are the people that are really strong examples of this stuff? And I even talked to our branch managers. I said, hey, if you can have someone, maybe they're rough around the edges. Maybe they need a little bit of grooming and development. But if they represent these things strongly, that's someone you should probably be paying attention to and talking to, as a potential, candidate here coming out for the future. So, that's really what we're looking for. And it's really coming out of this call. We're going to be having decisions come out here pretty soon. There'll be 2 rounds of acceptances that happen for our assistant manager team. One is for people that have been around for a little bit. They're already at Dirty 30, and they're applying for a full-time assistant manager role. So those applications will be sent out as soon as this call ends, and those will be due this Sunday. And then next week will be interview/acceptance weeks. And right after that, we'll start our training call series. For all the people that are just hopping on, or maybe you started the job over the winter break or something like that, and or maybe you're just not 10K in sales yet, there'll be a second round of acceptances that will happen immediately after the March Madness push. So you've got 5 or 6 weeks here to kind of go out and make a statement and earn your spot. But just remember, CPO talks. I have a saying that I can't really hear what you're saying until I actually see what you're selling. People can be excited, but actions always speak, louder than words. And get on my radar. If you guys don't have my phone number, I'll be able to give it to you at the end of the call. But take some time to make sure that you're getting on my radar. I want to walk you guys through a couple last things with the schedule here. Before we do that, I want to come up for air real quickly and just debrief what's exciting for you guys, what's giving you some clarity, what's giving you some confidence, what's getting you thinking differently, and what are you excited about? Someone else that already shared can, but before those people jump in, does anyone that hasn't shared? Share? Yeah, Eric or Madison.
Oh, by the way, really, really quickly, can you make me co-host just to let somebody who got kicked out back into the Zoom really quickly?
Yeah, I think I took the waiting room off. So go ahead, Eric.
Something that always I remember Jessica telling me was you need to run the office that you're aiming for as if it's your own branch. And then something like you said, what is really like what I'm doing here? And then having this call really made me realize I put in a cute little bubble. I was like, I do want to branch next summer, and I really want to run Mike's office as if it were to be my own this coming summer. So
sure. And coming from someone that's been in a summer before, kind of got like a little AMI/AM promotion at the end of the summer too. And it's a different experience when you actually go out as a full-blown, assistant manager going into the summer too. And we were talking about branch even going into the fall, but this is something that can really set you up power for that. So thanks for sharing, Eric. Madison?
Yeah, so I liked when you said like the 5-star college graduate, you get to interview the companies you want to work for. They don't have to interview you, so you have a lot of options. And also just working directly with your people, you work with them more than your branch manager does. You're that little link, you're the connection, and you lead by example. They follow you, they see what you're doing. So you just have to be like top notch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Assistant managers always like I can always I can tell you going into the summer what the culture of an office is going to be. And the reason I can do it before there's ever a single sales rep recruited. And the reason I can is I can just tell you the culture of that assistant manager team, and I can easily tell you, hey, here's going to be the strengths of that team. And here's going to be all the problems and weaknesses. And it's all usually I'm like, hey, just look at the assistant manager team. That's how those will be the leaders of the team. So appreciate you chiming in. Let me get one more. Sure. We'll go to Leah.
So, when I first got the opportunity to even be a assistant manager intern, ever since then, I was just like, no, I'm never doing a branch manager position. But something that Alex has been saying ever since has always just like, do what you can do now to be able to give your future self the opportunity to make that decision. Don't make the decision now for your future self, because I might want to be a branch. Who knows?
Yeah. Has anyone ever felt really strong about something and then changed their mind like a year later? Yeah, like that's exactly probably everybody. There's a lot of us that have gone into college thinking we wanted to be one thing, and then I'm going to be an engineer, and then now I'm studying economics. It's like, what? That's a very there's a big switches and so that too. But if you start counting yourself out of future opportunities before you've even gotten to the future, it's really about opening more doors and having more opportunities in front of yourself. So I would get a couple more shares, but we're tight on time, and I want to make sure I wrap up on these last few slides. So first thing I would say is text your managers your biggest light bulbs coming out of this meeting today. So whether that's Jonathan, if you're working in Tampa, you can probably reach out to Jessica or Cassidy. And if you're in the Sarasota Clearwater organization, I'd reach out to Alex and just text them, hey, what's coming up for you? What are you thinking about now? What are you excited about? Maybe what are you nervous about? What are some of your light bulbs coming out of this meeting? Last few things I want to go over real quickly in the last 3 minutes here is just how to earn your spot. So again, three things that we're going to be looking at: CPO, team building, and manager feedback. Okay. And the first two are pretty quantitative, meaning it's numbers, it's stats on a paper. How much have you sold this spring? How much have you sold in your career? how big are you going for the March Madness push, right? Like I said, that's really these two things are the two kind of key components of being a good assistant manager. Team building, how many PRs or personal recruits have you had, in the past on a team? How many people have you tried to get on the team? How many people are you recommended to the job now? And then finally is manager feedback. And I just want to let you all know, as a division manager, even some of y'all I haven't met before, I already know who you are. I hear about pretty much everything, so the people that are really engaged in the meetings, even when I'm not there, like I usually hear about it. And I also hear about the people that were late to meetings or didn't show up or didn't make it. The people that said they were going to do one thing and didn't follow through with it. So, a lot of it's the feedback that I get from your managers here too, as well. This is kind of the quick levels. If you want to take I'll take a photo of this and send it into the Gunner chat here. Okay. But this is kind of the levels of if you want to kind of set yourself up. Oh, thanks, Jonathan. Already been sending them. Cool. Some people already sending some things there. These are kind of the levels of the first thing that you can do before you can start networking with me. If you're at 3K in sales, you can start attending our weekly TLA events. At 6K in sales, you can become an assistant manager intern. At 10K in sales, you can become an official assistant manager. And if you're at 20K plus, that's when you're really, starting to make a statement and can potentially be considered for TLA going into 2021. I think if there's one time where there's a time to shine, one thing about assistant managers, and not all assistant managers sell all summer long. They all go big for the pushes though, and that's one big thing is like, hey, leaders step up when it matters the most. AKA, CC, Tom Brady, Bucks. They step up when it matters the most. They always lead when it is the most important time to lead. Look, there's one opportunity between now and midsummer. Our next event is in June. Okay. There's one push that there's an opportunity to really step up and make a statement for yourself. It's March Madness. So there'll be some contest details and some things coming out that are soon. But make sure that you're leading the way in your offices, leading the way in your organizations. That feedback can get trickled up to me. If you're at the Vector Cutco Awards event, that obviously helps, and you have an idea of some future opportunities are. And I want to let you know the next checkpoint will be our divisional Zoom that we'll have. So we're going to have one more of these calls, which for a whole group of you all will be a different type of call because you've already been accepted as an assistant manager. Okay. For some of you all, it will be kind of the next checkpoint in pacing towards an assistant manager spot. And then if you are a head or lead assistant manager, next time you're on these calls, I'm expecting you to kind of be leading the way for our assistant manager team and kind of creating the culture. And if you are accepted, we will begin an official assistant manager training call series. So again, anyone that's accepted as a full-time lead assistant manager from the applications that go out this weekend, meaning you're already over 10K in sales and you're qualified to do so, those training calls will start February 9th. So a week from this upcoming Tuesday. Everybody else, you got about 5 to 6 weeks to earn your position. And then decision week will be March 15th to the 19th. Okay, March 15th to the 19th will be the final time where we will make decisions. Let me screenshot this. Okay, and then we will begin our training call series. More than likely, we will be partnered with the Florida Caribbean division for this assistant manager training call series. And we'll go through a 6 to 8 week kind of program that will lead us into the summertime for all assistant managers. But last few things before we wrap up, just remember CPO talks. And I want to hear from you all. I want to hear hot updates. So one of the things too is that keep in mind, all of your assistant managers, all of your district managers have to run their assistant manager decisions by me before they can officially accept them, So if I don't know who you are, if you're not really communicating with me, if you're not on my radar, then it's going to be a little more challenging. So when you're performing, when you get friends on the team, when you sell a homemaker or hire, when you're getting 20 recommendations or more, you hit your next promo, these are all hot updates. And I encourage you to shoot me a text so you're communicating and getting on the radar. So that's it to wrap up the call, ladies and gents. Thanks for being engaged here today. Please go ahead and post your light bulbs into the divisional chat, and I will be forwarding out the assistant manager applications as well into those chats, as well as our assistant manager training call syllabus, so that everybody has those. If there's any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And everybody else, have a lovely day. Talk to y'all soon.